I'm Mark from the Farming Forum. I'm out in East Yorkshire today with Rob from AutoSpray. Hi, Rob.
Hello.
And Stuart from the Sangosse. So, very latest drone technology. Rob, tell us a bit about it.
Well, what we've got here is a agricultural drone. It's about 3 meters across, weighs 120 kilos, and can carry up to 60 kilos of either pellets or liquid. And it's used in right around the world in 70 countries, from North America to Japan to China to Australia. This is a standard bit of agricultural kit. It feels new to us in the UK because it's only recently the legislation has changed to allow these big drones to operate in the UK, and critically to drop things from the air, because we're dropping seeds, fertilizer, liquids from the air, and that's something that's normally very much forbidden.
So, how's that changed, and when did it change? I know there's a lot of chat about this on the forum, etc. Is that been the last 12 months? And what were we allowed to do before with drones? It was very limited, wasn't it? As I understand it.
Most drone operators, the drones are under 25 kilos, and critically, they must weigh the same when they take off as when they land, because dropping articles from the air is absolutely forbidden. So it took us a couple of years, but in 2023, we got the license to spread and spray with the drones up to 150 kilos. And crikey, now we even have beyond visual line of sight for spreading and spraying with the drone. So, this has moved on tremendously over the last few years. In fact, all of this progress was driven by a report PricewaterhouseCoopers published in June of 22. They'd been asked by the government what the impact would be on the UK economy if they supported commercial drone adoption. And when the government saw that it would grow the economy by 45 billion, create 650,000 new high-tech jobs, and save the environment 2.4 million tons of carbon a year, the government said, we'll have a bit of that. And in July 22, the government published its white paper and its policy on drone adoption in the commercial sector, and that's really what has accelerated the whole process.
So that drone adoption in the commercial sector, does that cover things like, potentially longer term, things like home deliveries for goods and all that sort of stuff as well? Or
absolutely, we have a meeting in Whitehall on Thursday, tomorrow, as it happens, with all of the big players. Well, the 10 big players. I'm glad to say we're one of those now, and that will be covering all sectors from deliveries. Our particular area of interest is the application of plant protection products from the drone, because we want aerial permission to apply the products that the farmer will be using anyway, but we are able to get those on in a very timely and very targeted manner, which is where the drones really come in. There's a complementary tool to the traditional self-propelled sprayers that we've just seen working in the field, but they have the benefit of, in this case, the oilseed rape, of having to trample through great swathes of it to protect.
So is that then the next step with drones then? Is that a tweak to the legislation to allow the next level of products to go on? Is that where we're now at with this?
Absolutely. The key now is the drone technology. This drone can apply in targeted patch spraying, no problem, variable rates, straight out of the box. The only sticking point in the UK and Europe is what you can apply. And currently you can't apply plant protection products, but there is huge momentum within Health and Safety Executive and the Chemical Regulatory Department to get that change. The government is pushing for this. We just want to accelerate that process a little more. And the government is now very focused on growth, and they see this as an area where not only the economy can grow, new jobs can be created, but this is also working on chemical reduction, and it's environmentally benefiting the crops too. So this is a win-win for all the people.
So with that in mind then, what we've done here today is that because it's not a plant protection day here.
Oh, absolutely. Because podstick is not a registered pesticide, doesn't have a MAP number, absolutely, we can apply that. And there's a million other things we can apply. But this is the right time of the year for podstick. We have a beautiful crop of seed rape here. So this was just an obvious opportunity. And, so the podstick applied, it fits so well with the drone. The application rates suit it very nicely. But the critical thing is it doesn't have a MAP number, therefore it's absolutely open season for the drone.
So from a crop protection manufacturer supplier perspective, how do you see the future with these sorts of applications?
I mean, personally, there's a few things that jump out at me. There's for the foreseeable future, the tractor sprayers are going to be a big part of it. But thinking about what, we've had a few meetings over the last few weeks. This has all been pulled about quite quickly, and really seeing the future, thinking about, as Rob said, minimizing damage on a crop, whether it's not trampling through an oilseed rape crop to apply a pod sealant, or whether it's not driving through a wet field in the autumn to apply slug bait. These things have massive benefits, not damaging the soil.
Because the irony of what we've just done here today about a pod stick is how much damage you actually do with a sprayer.
Yeah.
At that point, isn't it?
It isn't insignificant.
No.
We're up there today taking the film, and I purposely took some video and photos of the damage because it's all pulled over. We're trampling it down. It's not an insignificant amount of damage. So just to be able to do that completely damage free is adding yield.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's yield that's not lost.
And especially with the crop lock oilseed rate, where it's not exactly worth a lot of money again at the moment. Any more you can get.
Crops are looking pretty good. They're looking good here. So
yeah,
it's worth looking after.
Absolutely.
And we've been doing some nice work today with UV light. So we're playing around with some fluorescence technology to be able to take some of the pods and the branches away and put it in a dark room and spray. Use UV light to really measure that coverage.
Okay.
Different water volumes, playing around with different droplet spectrums. So we had a quick look today, but that'll be taken back, and we'll do that in a bit more detail. But it's just the first stage.
No, it's really exciting, and I mean, seeing it in action, I'm a bit of a tech geek with this sort of stuff anyway, but to see it actually working and actually understand a little bit more about it, it really is phenomenal, really.
You can watch all the videos online, but until you see it taking
off,
flying, and the fact it's entirely autonomous, yes, you have to have a pilot here in case something goes wrong, but really, the drone, you tell it how much you want to put on the field and what area you want to cover, and it just cracks on and does it yourself. And we end up just charging batteries and filling the tank. So we really become a pit crew for the drone.
So as regards application then, just give us a very quick run through of how it works and what it actually...
So you've got your liquid tank on there at the moment. In fact, if I undo these two clips here, you can lift the drone off its liquid tank and you can put it onto its spreading tank. So
okay, right.
Slug pelleter or seeder, something like that. But as it stands, it's got the liquid tank there. Liquid comes down the arms, runs down the tubes here, and onto this CDA. This is a controlled droplets applicator. So as the liquid drops onto there, the faster that disc spins, the smaller the droplet. So we can vary our droplet size literally on the fly. And this gives us great coverage. And this is what we were doing today with Stuart, is looking at what was the best droplet size and application rate to get really nice coverage on the pods. And this isn't new technology, but very few things that are. But it's a very useful, very robust system because it just doesn't block.
Yeah.
Anyone who's got a conventional sprayer will know the hassles of the block on.
So this is the same. If you put in, a prilled product down or seed or anything, it goes through the exact same process.
Because the threader base has twin spinning.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Right. So this is just for liquid then.
Yeah. This is purely for liquid. But literally 30 seconds, I lift the drone off, put it on the spreading bait, and it becomes a granular spreader. Crikey, we've been spreading everything from hazelnuts, acorns, through to fertilizer, and through to slug pellets, because we do have a trial license for that at the moment. And that is just in that sort of pre-commercial rollout stage. So you can expect to see a lot of these in the air very, very shortly.
So will that change after the back of the decisions from the meeting you're at tomorrow then as well?
Yeah, meeting tomorrow is designed to speed that whole process up.
Okay.
It's happening anyway. The manufacturers on board, the chemical manufacturers on board, such as Sangosse here, who are the world's largest molluscicide manufacturer. But also the government's on board, DEFRA's on board, HSE is on board. It's happening. It's just the government wants it to happen more quickly because there are benefits to the environment, benefits for farmers, and this is good for UK PLC.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. It's been a really worthwhile morning, and thanks for inviting me. It's been great.
The time to come down on such a gorgeous.
It's always like this in East Yorkshire.